My name's Oliver, and I'm an associate director here at HPCA, and you've been burdened with me because Joe, who would usually present this, has been called away. So if anything goes disastrously, please don't be too harsh. So today is the second session of the career progression series. We've got 3 in total, so thank you all for making it along. Rochelle, CJ are the main stars of today, so quick intro and hello from them.
Hello all. So thank you again for joining us today on the second session. Obviously, my name's CJ. I'm the Partnership Development Coordinator at APM. And yeah, Rochelle and I are here to have this kind of conversation with you guys as well, and help support you with this webinar today.
And I'm Rochelle Sampson-Clarke, and I'll be talking about my career journey and hopefully giving you some tips about how to progress in the healthcare NHS profession. So I look forward to speaking more about that later.
Brilliant. Thank you, CJ and Rochelle. And before we kick off, I'm going to take us through a few slides about HPCA, what we're trying to achieve together, and then we'll have a short question on Mentimeter. Hopefully it works. I set it up, so it'll have to be fingers crossed, and that will hopefully focus some of the challenges you're all facing, and then hopefully we'll cover some of that off through the chats. So I will get through the intro. I think the main thing to understand the HPCA, Healthcare Project and Change Association, is we're a community of practice trying to raise the standards around project management, project and change management within a healthcare setting. This is something for all you project professionals. You'll know very well that one of our biggest tasks is, being the facilitator, having lots of connections, collaborations, and as you'll see, there are lots of associations we've already linked with, and the major challenge we've got in a healthcare setting is that not all of us are permanent project managers. Some of us have come from different professions, and we're exposed to this challenging world of change, and how do you do it well? And that's really what we try to do as an association, is make sure we're having all the conversations to really make everyone's lives a lot easier. And that's starting to think about that, and we've got various regions and leads heading up those conversations. Now, as a community of practice, we run free webinar series and events. The next one on the 4th of June, 4th of June, not June, will be led by CJ and Helen Donaghy. So do sign up for that. And if you can't make it, thank you, Helen, for sharing that link. But if you can't make it, you can always access it later on YouTube. But it's always best to make it to the events live so you can ask the questions as we go. Exactly like today, do use the chat, do get involved. This is a community of practice. There are no silly questions. It's all, the more we can explore stuff, the better we get at stuff, right? And then there are a few free webinars that you can see there. And as you can see, linked up with various other organizations to really help us reach as many spaces, because as I say, a lot of projects and change aren't delivered by dedicated project teams. It'll be by everyone. And how do we spread the awareness and get everyone involved? And hopefully with all your involvement, that's something, an energy we can only increase on. So do make sure you're looking at those events and getting signed up for those as well. And of course, we've got regional networks. So what we try and do within the regions is have dedicated communities of practice for each region, where we can have conversations around what isn't working in that region and how we can get it better. you know, liaising with hopefully the ICBs and, you know, having the right conversations to improve projects and change within those areas. Hopefully that makes sense. In the Northeast, I'm involved up here in the Northeast. I'm based in Darlington, which is right up in the heart of the Northeast, some would argue. But if there's anyone on the call in the Northeast, and Julie getting involved and saying, well, there's nothing in the Southwest either. I hadn't spotted that. If you do notice these things, get involved. You know, let's start it up. We'll support it. Okay. And again, put that into the chat and we'll follow up there, Julie. Thank you. Brilliant. And then some of the material we have around, there's some really specialist material where you're thinking about the challenges around change. TAM there on Change Ninja is constantly looking back, you know, ex-NHS professional and looking at Change Ninjas. It's quite a popular topic and quite a good community to get involved with. Then we've got SRO essentials, all of these a bit more specialist areas. But if any of those chime with you, do look at more information on the link there. And then we've got the essentials. I've been involved in delivering a few of these. The last one we did, I think, was with Yorkshire Ambulance Services, and that was risk management and benefits management. Anything in the Midlands, Cassie? I think I didn't see, did we have Midlands covered? If not, you know, leave that there, we'll follow up. Okay, so more information on the essentials programs there, but if you think, oh, actually it would be good for our environment to have any of these courses, do get in touch and we'll see what we can do to up the levels. And remember, there's also organizational membership, which pinged off. I will have to come off that and I'll just look at it this way. It's got a timer on it. And that's some of the benefits there around organizational membership. It's not expensive, but then finding cash within the NHS isn't always the easiest thing. But yeah, that's what membership looks like. And hopefully that has been a reasonable introduction to the HPCA and where our focus is. It's all about contributing to the journey towards the APM's vision of a world in which all projects succeed. And you know, how can we do that within a healthcare setting, especially when less resources available to us, more demands put on us. You know, the challenges within the NHS and getting change through, I'm sure we'll all know. It's really hard, and the level of change that we're all exposed to is high. But that's where you get your experience, and you probably get into a great space to support the future world of change. Okay, now I promised we'd do a Mentimeter, so I'm going to share my screen and hope this goes right. Please go right. Here we go. Has that worked? Excellent. Okay, so this last part from me, I hope. I hope I haven't been too long. I'm seeing you. What's the biggest challenge to career progression for project and change professionals that you see? As an individual, what do you think? Do start thinking about that. What stops you progressing? Okay, lack of opportunities, training funding. Fantastic. Thank you. That's what I love to see. And hopefully some of these already, Rochelle and CJ, are pinging up on your radars and you're thinking, you know, it's only natural. Self-limiting beliefs, absolutely. You know, Helen, Rochelle, CJ, before we move any further, is there anything I've left out that you think needs to be covered off?
No, you're good.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Lack of opportunities seem quite large, so that's been entered a few times.
Lots about funding as well.
Yeah. Will you cover some of that, Rochelle, at all as you talk?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay. Anything else that you're noticing? Yeah, brilliant.
Opportunities, lack of opportunities is key.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way the NHS is largely structured, there's only one position for a very senior member, and then everyone else sort of remains at that level, don't they? And that can be tough. Great. Okay, brilliant. Well, we'll start to move on. CJ, if you want to take control of the screen, that will run in the background. So I'll summarize it as best I can. So I'll just focus on this. But hopefully that's given both you, Rochelle, and CJ a bit of an understanding as to what the challenges our audience are facing. Is that good? A good start. All right, I will shut up. CJ, over to you.
Thank you, Oliver. Yeah, that's great. I've made a few notes, so hopefully I can kind of weave this into my presentation as well, and Rochelle can kind of pick out some points as well when she kind of dives into her experience as well. So thank you very much. Let me just share my screen now.
Brilliant. I'm hoping you can just take over. Brilliant. Thank you.
Perfect. So welcome everyone, and again, thank you for joining us today. I just want to say a quick thank you to HPCA, Joe, who will hopefully join us shortly, Oliver, Helen, and Rochelle as well, just for helping to arrange a session and just to make it come into fruition. And yeah, I hope that you all find it valuable, and pop any questions in the chat, and we can kind of pick them up as we go along as well. So I mentioned earlier, my name is CJ. I'm the Partnership Development Coordinator here at APM, and I look after the organizations within corporate partnership that are at the corporate affiliate status. So HPCA is one of the corporate affiliates that I work with, and we've kind of put together this three-part webinar series to discuss career developments. My kind of perspective is coming from a APM standpoint and how we sit as an organization and how we can support you in all these areas. And yeah, hopefully as we move on with this webinar, Rochelle can kind of give some insights and some helpful tips and knowledge and just share her experience as well. So you can kind of get a little bit of a mixture between both and in terms of being within the organization and also how we can support you from an outside point of view. Just before I start, for those of you who attended our previous session, there will be some content which might overlap. So apologies for that. But for those of you who are new, I hope that you do find the new information valuable. But I'll just make a start. So APM, who we are as an organization. So we are the only chartered membership organization for the project profession in the world. And we're not just here to support project managers, but really anyone within that P3M space. So anyone within that project portfolios and programs kind of space. As an organization, we received our Royal Chartership in 2017, and we began offering chartership to individuals in 2018 as well. So we're still in that early phase in terms of that chartership realm, but we're growing rapidly as well. We are a membership organization, we are a professional body, and we also produce professional standards. So we're here to kind of help support individuals, wherever they might kind of sit and whatever they might need to kind of pull from maybe APM as an organization. As a organization as well, we are a registered educational charity. So all of our profits are going back into the profession. And all of this kind of together allows us to provide this sense of community and a wealth of resources and networking opportunities as well to the project community, all over the world. Again, I kind of highlighted this in our previous session, but how that kind of looks as an overview and how that looks in terms of figures and in a visual format, we have a huge community of over 45,000 members. Who are accessing our benefits, our member benefits as well. And how that sits in terms of corporate partners, we've got over 470 corporate partners, and again, still growing. The chartered space, we've got over 4,000 chartered professionals, and we'll move into that more in the next session. But the chartership is kind of seen as that gold standard within the project profession as well. Once or every year we run over 18,000 qualifications as well, and these run from entry level all the way through to chartership. So previously I talked about the project fundamentals qualification. Today I'm going to touch upon the project management qualification as well, and the next session will kind of lead into chartership. And with the help of all of our volunteers, we've got over 850 volunteers, and our community as well. We can run over 200 CPD events per year as well. So there's lots of opportunities for networking, lots of opportunities for growth, and lots of opportunities to come together and help shape the profession together as well, which is it's an exciting time to be a part of. So the career journey framework, I did share this with you last time, but I thought it might be helpful to kind of see where it might align with the kind of topics that we're going to discuss today. And for the purpose of today's one, I'm going to really focus on kind of the operational and the management phase of a career journey, and where that might sit, and what kind of materials and resources you can draw from APM, whether that be looking into memberships or looking into qualifications as well. So that's the career journey framework. In regards to the qualifications and memberships, so you can follow a linear route through the qualifications, but none of them are prerequisite to another. So you don't need to have completed one to move on to the next, but it's just an idea of how each level of qualification and each level might fit with experience. So you also don't have to be a member to have a qualification, and vice versa as well. So if I kind of think back to the Mentimeter in terms of what was popping up in terms of gaps in training, or like lack of opportunities there, we can help support you in that sense. And although I can understand that we've had the conversations before in terms of there might not be funding for this, this is available to you, and you can, Rochelle's going to highlight other ways that you can build your knowledge and develop further. But these are, if you want to kind of take it down an accredited route with us as an organization, this is what you can kind of look into, and how you can just kind of build your knowledge as well. One thing or one resource which I would recommend, which you can all kind of complete and you can all use this throughout your career journey, is the competence framework tool. So this is accessible to all, and you can access this via the resources section on the APM website. And it allows you to assess your own knowledge against the key competencies in the body of knowledge. The body of knowledge, or the competence framework tool, uses this to kind of identify any skill gaps or any shortfalls, and you can basically benchmark your skills against other roles, and it creates this really nice intuitive graph, basically just outlining which of the competencies you need to focus on, and what you need to kind of do to reach that criteria as well. So I would recommend using this tool. So for those of you who are kind of seeing that there's a lack of opportunities, or say for instance a lack of training opportunities, you can use these to see where you sit, see where it is that you're kind of wanting to reach, and really just assess yourself and take the time to go through it. What we're seeing is a lot of organizations and a lot of teams kind of sitting down with their teams and reviewing this, whether that be in one-to-ones or kind of like quarterly reviews or monthly, bi-weekly reviews, and literally just kind of taking the time and watching their progression and using this as a tool throughout their whole kind of career journey. And it's a very, very intuitive tool. So we really would recommend for you to use this. As an organization, as I said, we're here to help you and support you at every stage of your career. And within that, we've kind of created these 4 membership categories. So previously I had focused, excuse me, previously I'd focused on the student membership, but for today's session, I'm going to look into associate membership and full membership, and really just kind of dive into how you can use these membership benefits to move forward and advance your career and deepen your knowledge, and just use it as a network space as well. So I would really recommend kind of looking into these membership opportunities, and if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to pop them in the chat. But with regard to the associate membership, so these are ideal for those starting their career in projects, and it's for those who have an interest in project management as well, but you don't actually have to work or have worked in the profession, but it's a good starting point, and it's a good point to kind of progress and invest in your career as well. There's a lot of member benefits from this, such as the APM Learning, which is our online learning modular platform. So you can use this alongside the competence framework tool to deepen your knowledge and learn more in the areas that you kind of need to push yourself on. You've got the access to the APM community, which is our online platform for learners, for all of our members, and it's like an exclusive community section on there, so you can connect with individuals, you can reach out, and this is any project professionals within APM who are on that membership basis. You can also access the mentoring page as well. So for those of you who are kind of looking towards chartership or looking towards even a qualification, looking towards the project management qualification, or even applying for a full membership, you can pick a person on there, you can pick your mentor, you can do that geographically, you can do that based on interest, and it's a really good tool to just connect with someone who's actually been in that experience and who's gone through that as well. The full membership builds upon that associate membership, so this is more about kind of demonstrating your experience and demonstrating that competence, and it is more of a application process for it. So there's 3 entry routes into it. One is the experience route, which is at least 5 years within a project practitioner role. There's the second route, which is an experience and qualification route. So for instance, if you hold an accepted qualification such as the project management qualification, and you also have to have at least 3 years experience. And then there's a direct entry route as well, which is if you hold an accepted qualification. So for instance, if you're a chartered project professional. These members are then also entitled to use the post-nominals MAPM or MAPM, and they have a whole range of other privileges, such as board election voting rights as well as all the kind of member benefits that you would see previously in the associate membership. What these look like is the APM learning platform, as I mentioned. So this has very much just been refreshed in the last month, and it's a really, again, another intuitive platform where you can go for a whole range of digital resources. So there's versions of guides, modules, and there's some podcasts in there as well. It's a really well invested opportunity to learn in this space, and as I mentioned, you can have this linking up with your competence framework tool as well, and it's just all about kind of building that in and building that within your CPD as well, which as another benefit, you have that My CPD tool, which is a really nice way to kind of track all of this, and again, it's all kind of logging all of your personal development and leaning in towards where you want to kind of take your career, and hopefully Rochelle's used some of these member benefits as well. We look into My CPD when applying for chartership and applying for full membership, so I would really recommend making use of these member benefits as well. Another key focus for us is to spread our reach and bring project professionals together and build a community. And this is done by building these networks that we've got here. So we've got the interest networks, which focus on key areas of project management. For instance, Women in Project Management, which I know Rochelle is part of. And we've also got the regional networks as well. which is geographically located. So we've got 19 interest networks, and we've also got 16 regional networks. The interest network list is always growing, and we welcome any proposals. So, for instance, for those of you who kind of want to maybe even submit a proposal for a healthcare interest network, feel free to reach out, and I can put you in touch with the relevant individual. It might be a nice space to have that as your own kind of interest area, where you can pull resources together, and you can put in there in terms of any updates that might be relevant, or in terms of lack of opportunities or funding, or salary increases, what you're kind of seeing in terms of trends, those kind of things that were mentioned in the Mentimeters. You can kind of create that space to really drive change and really drive knowledge building within that specific area as well. The regional networks, so we recently launched the Republic of Ireland and also the UAE network, and we're really wanting to expand our reach and really just wanting to connect individuals from all over the globe as well. So it is a priority for us as an organization to reach out and build these networks regionally as well. So I would recommend, depending on wherever you are, based upon the map, signing up for a regional network. There's conferences that take place. They have their own kind of webinars as well. And yeah, it's a really good way to, develop. And as Oliver kind of mentioned, you've got these areas that you can reach out and network with and build knowledge as well.
Yeah. And CJ, just jumping in on the slides you've just been through and this slide, I think there are some questions coming through, around professional development and just thinking about, well, my organization's not paying for anything. What can I do? And what I'd suggest is, start with the entry level membership with APM. Get involved with the communities. Here within the HPCA, subscribe for free. Keep on top of the community. We'll involve you, no doubt. But if you want to really start building towards that CPD that demonstrates you're a professional to sort of go into any role, I'd say APM membership within the project community would be very, very worthwhile. And I don't know if Rochelle and CJ obviously will agree with that.
It's an investment in yourself, really, and you're investing in the kind of knowledge that you're going to gain, and what you're putting into it, you're going to get back out from it as well. So as Oliver mentioned, like starting at the kind of entry level membership, if you even want to go down the qualification route, starting at that entry level, and as you progress as an individual, you might see yourself progress either working through qualifications, you might see yourself progress either through membership, but holding that kind of either the qualification or even having that digital badge and aligning yourself with APM, it will create opportunities for you. You can, the more that you kind of shout out about it, and the more that you kind of spread your reach as well, the more it's becoming well known, and the more you're just investing into your kind of future and your CPD and your progression as well. So thank you for that, Oliver.
And maybe just one slight suggestion further, if you really are struggling for cash and really can't find anything, reach out. There are always volunteer opportunities within the regions. Get involved, support events, see what's going on. If you really don't have access to cash, I know we're in a tough old time, and particularly within the NHS, we're all, or when I was working there, you are paid so little compared to what the industry standard is. I think average wage for a project manager is about 420 a day, £420 a day, and we know in the NHS that's just not possible. So yeah,
there's that as well, and even just the kind of you might even be in a position to give back as well. Like you might be in that position to share your knowledge as well, and making use of that in the community section, or making use of that in terms of volunteering. you'll learn from yourself as well in terms of how, like, what you've learned. Giving back to the community is fulfilling in that sense as well. So I completely understand that there's a lack of funding, and it's very hard to kind of progress that way, but you can progress in other ways as well. So yeah, it's just exploring all the options really, which hopefully I'm here to present them to you. But yeah, so thank you anyway, Oliver. So the in terms of the qualifications, as I mentioned, we touched upon the project fundamentals qualification to begin with. I'll just briefly talk about the project management qualification, and then I'll hand over to Rochelle. But for those of you who were kind of aware of the project management qualification beforehand, we have moved away from that 3-hour kind of essay style exam. So I know quite a lot of people were put off by this exam because it just accessibility wise was just very intense and very overwhelming as well. So we did a lot of kind of research into this, and again, we want to help develop you guys. So by doing that, we invested time into developing this and making it more accessible to everyone. So